Hi everyone, I'm Chad Newton, and normally I'm doing cooking with the RN, but today I'm going to be doing sewing with the RN. I hope you will bear with me. I'm going to be making a face mask, considering the coronavirus pandemic that we're going through. So I've been playing around on my sewing machine a little bit, and this was the prototype. As you can see, it didn't quite fit. It wasn't exactly the best one. So I used that as a pattern, and then I made another one, uh, and this one came out much better, right? So I'm gonna use this pattern to make another mask. This one was basically a bandana that I cut up and framed up and shaped up, and then I used one of my old headbands to make the sleeves. As you can see, this is one of the headbands here. So this one I went out and got some fabric, and I'm going to just create another headband here, another face mask rather. So what I'm going to do first is just cut so that this would be about the length of the next face mask that I'm going to make, okay? So let me cut it up a little bigger, and I'm going to cut it so that the face mask is basically double, like you can loop it over, right? You can flip it over so that you have one layer in the front and one layer in the back. And then I'm just gonna cut it this way down. So let me just make sure it's about twice as long, and then I'm gonna give myself a little extra fabric here. So let me just cut this across, and boom, here we go. So next thing I'm gonna do is take my piece of fabric that I cut, and I'm gonna put it on my pattern, fold it in half like so, so that I can see the length, the comparison in terms of how long it is. And I'll get it just like that. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is go like so and just use my sewing machine to make my first couple of stitches. Aha, something happened. Every once in a while with my sewing machine the thread comes out, and that's of course no fun. So I just have to re-thread it. So sewing is a patient, painstaking process that may not be for everybody. But you just have to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, because if you don't have any patience to do something for yourself, then can somebody have patience to do something for you? I don't think so. So let me re-thread this needle. As you can see, it's taking me a little bit of time. Where are my scissors? Let me cut. If you cut the thread, then the thread is a little sharper to get through the eye of the needle. Alright, let me do that again. I swear I'm not blind. I remember when I was a little kid, my mother would ask me to thread the needle for her. You know, my mother was the one who taught me how to sew. Alright, so we're back on track. Let me get the thread back in there so I can finish my seam. Alright, I went straight through, and I'm going to cut the thread at the length that I want it. So you have one pattern here. Now one thing I noticed from sewing is that you should always be cutting the thread, because after a while you're going to have thread all over the place. And I know there are some professional people out there who know how to do this, like my buddy Vaughn Constable. He sews like mad. He makes bow ties. So this is coming together, right? Alright, now I'm going to sew the side a bit. Now this is when you have to start choosing which side is the inside and which side is the outside. So I'm choosing my inside. Before I sew this side, I'm going to flip it over onto itself a bit and make my little seam. Alright, so let me compare it to my pattern. Alright, I think I like it like that. Alright, so I'm gonna sew the length of the mask the other way. Meanwhile, I'm going to pull my thread through so that it doesn't mess up again. Alright, so let me close this down, get my pattern good to go here. Ready? Okay. Ah, the thread came out again. See what happens? Now this is probably due to my amateurism, but I have a feeling that this happens to a lot of people. So let me thread it again. Thread it again. Just take some patience. And it doesn't help that the thread has some rough ends here. You see how it's good to be talented in many different things? I think so. I mean, can't always depend on other people doing stuff for you, right? So, there we go. You have to be able to help yourself to do certain things. Alright, thank you for your patience and thank you for watching this. If you like what you see, you can share it on your social media. You can share it to your friends on social media. But yeah, you know, this coronavirus thing is really causing problems for all of us. So the reason I'm making masks is just so when I'm going out to the store and whatnot, I can have some protection. Because, you know, when I'm at the hospital, of course, I get the protective masks for healthcare workers. Alright, boom. That's the second side. So now I've got this little extra flap here that I'm going to cut because I don't need it. And this is on the inside of the mask, the part that's going to be kind of over my nose, my mouth, and all that. So this is for my own protection. So as I was saying, you have to cut thread and cut thread and cut thread because you have a lot of thread on your hands. So the next thing I'm going to do is fold over the edge and make the inner edge of the mask. So I'm going to lift up my sewing machine again and push that through, and hopefully this time the thread doesn't come out of the sewing machine again. Boom! Just like that, I've got one edge made. Now I know that there are different variations of how people make their masks. So if you see a different pattern, it's all good. Now let me pull this through and close this down. Alright, that's the fourth corner. Alright, so here we go. Let me cut off this thread here because, like I say, there's plenty of extra thread all the time. So you have your basic mask, right? Now I've got my yellow headband that I would normally use for my hair, but what I'm going to do is take it and pattern it. So I'm just going to cut this one piece and I'm going to measure it against the prior headband the prior face mask that I had made, and so that is one side, and then I'm going to measure for the second side. Now you notice this is a yellow headband and then this yellow flowers, sunflowers in this pattern here. So I'm going to make it like that. Alright, so all I'm going to do now is basically put on the mask portion. So I'm going to do it like this because eventually it's going to go around my ear. So let me put that through, raise the needle, pull the thread, and I'm going to put that down here and sew away. Just going to do it one little stitch for now because in case it's not the right length. And then I'm going to fold it over to do the other side. See what I'm doing? I'm just folding it over to do the other side. Alright, so let me push that through there. down the sewing machine, get my needle down low. Boom. Raise the needle. Pull that out. Boom, boom, boom. Got one side of the ear ready to go. And then cut off that extra thread here. And then I'm going to make my other earpiece, a piece of elastic. Now, you know, I went to the store to try to get some elastic, and boy, they don't have any. Alright, so let me do this piece here. That's going to go on the other side of my head, the other ear. So here we go. Put that down and put the needle down. So, boom, done. And pull and cut. Flip that over. Well, before I flip it over, let me just cut the extra thread here. Because like I say, there's always a little extra thread. Alright, flip it over, and this is going to go right here. Alright, put my needle down. Boom. Raise my needle. And pull this through. Cut the extra thread. Ta-da. Face mask. Let's see if it fits. So yeah, see, I made a face mask. And this is perfect for going out to the supermarket and whatnot. You see what I mean? So sometimes you could tuck in the sides and whatever, but yep, this is my face mask. I'm gonna have one. You know, you just have a few made so that you can do your daily business. You know, this one here, a little looser, but it does the job. All right, thank you for watching Sewing with the RN.